I'm going to bring on Jeremy Jackson, who's the Senior Director of Instructional Technology from Classlink, to share with you his topic, which is giving teachers and administrators the ability to track student engagement. He's one of our illustrious sponsors and shares a lot of little backstories along the way. So Jeremy, you have the share screen moment now, and it looks like you're muted. I'm going to ask you to unmute, share your camera. Yeah, asking you to start your video and asking you to unmute. And then you can share screen, Jeremy. Good to have you. Hopefully this is the right Jeremy, or maybe we need, I think maybe you're in here twice. Maybe we need to get the other Jeremy. You have a twin, Jeremy? Okay, we're moving you over now. Asking to unmute and asking you to start your video. This is the life that teachers all over the country go through all the time. We're like, which one are you? And, you know, like, share, please, and all that other stuff. There you go. Okay, we see your screen.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you. Sorry, we had a little blip there, and hopefully we got that out of the way. So, you know, when you're doing technology, you're going to have a problem. So
I can't see your video, though. I can't see you. I can see your screen, but I can't see you.
Okay. Well, let's see real quick.
Yeah, I see your screen, but not your face.
Okay. Let me see.
It was dark if you were sharing video. It was like you had a Post-it note or something over your camera.
There we go.
There you are. Now I see you. Okay, good. I'm going to put myself on mute and let you share out. And I might pop back in at the end and ask questions.
That sounds wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. And I am here with Classlink. And today we're going to talk about looking at some ways that we can give teachers and administrators some ways to track student engagement. So in another life, pre-COVID, I used to travel a lot, and you know, I one time met a pilot sitting in the airport, and we started chatting, and you know, we talked about how much of that flight was automated. So we think all the computer does the most of the flying. And he goes, yeah, you know, when we're up in the air, but you know, when we go up, when we take off and we land, that's all the pilot. And so we got to talking about how does he handle it when it's dark and stormy out. And he says, you know, all those instruments we have in the cockpit, we can just fly without have any visual contact at all using that instrumentation. We can take off and land just using those. So being able to have that data, even when we can't visually see things, helps us safely guide. And you have precious cargo, just like a pilot. You have your students, and right now it's difficult to see what a lot of those students are doing and actually measure all the data that you need to see how they're engaged and how they're performing. So Classlink gives you some different tools through analytics to be able to have a peek into what your students are doing, how they're engaged, and how they're spending their educational time, particularly if they're remote learning. So there's a way that we set that up, and the first way that we do is we create a portal we call our Launchpad, where students have one-click access into all of their resources. So we partner with over 6,000, nearly 7,000 different vendors to be able to provide single sign-on access into those resources. So I really don't have any competitors that are able to bring in all of the resources, all of the things that your students need to access in order to be successful in one location. And what we can do is, if somebody isn't on that list of 6,000 to 7,000 vendors, we can add them in a day or two. You just reach out to us. It's no charge for the vendor, and of course, no charge for the district as well. We can also access one click into all of the files, so that single sign-on if they're using an Active Directory network drive or a Google Drive or a Dropbox. No matter where their data is being stored, we can put that into one easy to search location. And then because all of the students are accessing resources through one place, what we're able to do is actually track that data. We can see what resources they're logging into and how long they're spending on that inside of those different resources. Then we provide some different technologies to be able to create all of the accounts they need to be able to access the resources. So we have our OneSync that creates all of your internal accounts. So a new student comes in, or a new bus driver, or a new teacher, or a new assistant principal. When they come into your district, they need to be able to have access to your networks. And so if a student is entered into your student information system, we can automate all of the creation of the internal accounts they need. So they most likely need an Active Directory account or a network account. They may need a Google account or an Office 365 or Azure account. So we're able to take information as soon as it's entered from the student information system or from the HR system, and then take that and automatically create those internal accounts. Now, you also need external accounts. So when we talk about single sign-on, students need to have unique accounts into all of their different resources. So what we can do is roster out all of those resources with the vendors. So we can look and say, all of your third grade students need access to iReady. So what we'll do is look at your student information system, pull all of your third grade students, and then we can reach out to iReady and create all of those accounts. So when your students go to their Launchpad, to that one click single sign-on area, their accounts are created. We also reach out to your other portions of your learning community. So your parents need access to things like lunch balances and grades and information about applying for colleges. So we put all of that into our parent portal, which also has single sign-on capabilities. And then we put a public portal out, so you're able to look at all of the resources that are available and show off to the community, how you're spending the resources on different applications to enrich student learning. So there are multiple ways that you're able to sign into Classlink, and we're going to see what a login page might look like in just a second for you. But you're able to use your Active Directory or Google or Office 365. You can even, for like parents, they can log in using social media. We also have multi-factor authentication. So if you need to have first a login and you want to have an extra layer of security where somebody takes a picture, or they can even get a text message or an email to authenticate into some sensitive areas that you may have. We also have Quickcards, which is where you just scan a QR code in front of the computer, facial recognition, and then even remote login as well. So today we're going to take a look at how this whole ecosystem works, but we're really going to focus on some of the things with our analytics. So let's go ahead and look at an initial login page. This is what it would look like for just a generic login page, and it has all of the different ways that you can log in into a Classlink. So we have your network login here, which could also be SAML for some of you techies out there. We can also just log in with Google. We have our Office 365 Windows login, that quick card I mentioned, and I'll actually show that to you in just a moment. Then we also have facial recognition. That's typically used with students who have severe disabilities. It's not the most secure way to log in, but it ensures that there's access to all students. We also have applications that are native-based applications for mobile devices. So we have actually two for the iOS devices, for the iPad and for your iPhones. And then we also have an Android native device for Android devices. So with Classlink, you don't have to have all of those different login modes on this. So here we can see Boise is using a network and that quick card. You can also have on your login page a notification. So here, Nampa wants a notification to pop up when you first go to that page. So it gives you information on how you would be able to log in into their Classlink portal. Here, we're just signing in with Microsoft. We can also have this right here for Pinedale. We can see you don't see Classlink on there. They've actually named it their Pinedale portal. So you're able to brand this however you want for your particular district and include the different ways that you want your students and faculty or parents to be able to log in. So we mentioned that quick card earlier. Now it's important to note that we're looking at a Chromebook and we haven't even logged into the Chromebook yet. We're just on that initial splash page, and this could be on any device that you're looking at. You haven't even logged into that initial device, and you can still use that quick card to access that. Typically, we see the quick card used by our younger students by ages kindergarten or even pre-K up to second or third grade, because a lot of times they don't have necessarily the tactile skills for a username or password. And if you're still learning your alphabet, it's a little bit difficult to have that information. So quick cards are of a huge use. And we're going to see all a student would have to do to sign in the Chromebook is flash that QR code in front of the camera. Now it's logging them into that Chromebook, and then it's launching that Classlink environment Launchpad automatically for them. It's as easy as that. So we also, I mentioned earlier, have a parent portal where we can create all of the accounts for the parents. So you never have to manage that. We do all of the password management as well. So let's go ahead and see what the Classlink environment, our Launchpad, looks like. So this is where your students and teachers and faculty and other district members would be spending the majority of their time. So this is unique for each individual user. You're going to have the resources that you need on each one of your pages. So we can see here's an administrator page. We have a teacher profile here. So we're logging into a teacher. And we can see here, we have all of the different icons that a teacher needs in order to be successful. So we have Canvas, we have Discovery, iReady. So Classlink knows who is logging in and what resources they need. So you might have library resources that are being shared out with everybody in the district. Whereas you might have your iReady that's just being used for teachers or students at a particular grade level. So here are some different staff resources that, of course, would only be shared with your staff member or HR links. Again, you can have SSO into all of these different tools that your teachers may need, where your students wouldn't see any of those things. Now, when we look at our different icons, we're going to see there are three different tools with this. We have a key, and the key lets us know that we have single sign-on for that. So if I click on iReady, it's going to go ahead and open up iReady in a new tab for me. And it's going to, oh, we got a little error there. No, we have had some blips. We're changing our demo environment right now. Let's try to Discovery here. And there we have logged in to Discovery as that particular user automatically. So we also have our Rocket, and what the Rocket would do is auto launch that. So if there are resources and tools that you use every day that you log in, you can actually set that to auto launch. So that would open up a new tab and log you in. And then we have a lock. So this lock means that this has been something that's been pushed out, an application that's been pushed out at the district level for all of your users. So this is something that they're not able to erase. Now you can still move some things around and create folders and things like that, but if I try to delete this, I don't have that option. Now, if I can also add my own apps to this. So let's say I wanted to add my 3D cart. I can go ahead and click add on that, and we can see with the key that we have single sign-on for that. So I'm going to go ahead and close it out, and we can see I've now added 3D cart to my Launchpad. So now, because it doesn't have that lock, I can actually go in and remove that. Now, you have a lot of different options that you can give to your users, and you can manage by different types of groups as far as what abilities they have to edit this. When you look at this, it's going to seem very similar to your mobile devices. So we really were inspired by that. It's very intuitive for all of your different users, where they have all of their different icons. And because you have on your mobile device, you want to be able to do things like change your wallpaper and your background on there, your app sizes. We even have some different themes that you can put on there. So we have some primary ones for younger students with larger icons. It's a lot cleaner. And then we have a professional one with some different resources for your faculty and staff, and maybe some of your older students. Now, again, you can lock all of this down. You have granular controls over who can access that. So this part of our Launchpad is called My Apps. There are two other things that we're going to look at from a teacher aspect. And the second one is going to be My Files. So we mentioned before that we're able to access all of your different files in one location. So here, this teacher has a Google Drive, they have a school network, and they have a Dropbox. So if I click on my Google Drive, I'm able to see all of my data there. If I'm going to click on my school network, I can see all of my files for my school network as well. And let's say I wanted to take something from my network drive and I wanted to put it in my Google Drive. All I'd have to do is drag and drop that over into my Google Drive. I also am able to, let's say I forgot where I saved a particular file. So if I know I want a science file, but I forgot where I put it, I can actually search everywhere and I can click go. And now it's going to search through all of my different folders that I need. And it's important to mention for the school network drive, you actually don't need a VPN. So if any of you are accessing your networks using VPNs right now, you don't need that. So this is the first step in order to start collecting analytics. So we need to be able to see where people are accessing resources, and they need to be able to access everything through one modality. So once we have all of our resources in one location, then you're able to look at this third location that's in our Launchpad, which is My Classes. So we have My Apps, My Files, and here is the My Classes area where we're connecting to your student information system, and we're saying what preps are being taught by this particular teacher. So we can see that this teacher is teaching math, biology, language arts, world history. And then we have all of the different applications that are being shared with students for these particular courses. So of course, there are things that are going to be pushed out at the district level. So every student taking biology is going to have their biology textbook. And maybe your science curriculum department has decided these are the resources that all biology students would have. But as teachers, I was a geography teacher, and I always had different resources that I thought were important tools for me to be a more effective teacher for my modality of teaching. So there are things that I shared with my students, and so I wanted to make that unique. So the first thing to notice when we go into this particular course is the teachers have ability to do announcements. So as we look at the megaphone up here in the corner, teachers can make announcements to their students. And I mentioned earlier that I'd want to be able to have my resources, my applications that I wanted to be able to share with students in my courses. So if I wanted to share that, I could again click on Add an App. And we see we have different libraries here that we make available based on the security group that a particular user is in. So if they're a teacher, they can access a particular library that has applications that have been approved and curated by the district. So we know that these are all teacher-approved apps. We can have K-4 app libraries. You can have dozens or hundreds of different libraries for different users in your district. So we can see here, these are all applications that I can easily just go through, and I want to add Doodler for this class. I now am locking that down for the students, and I'm going to go and look, and there is Doodler for my students, and we saw that there was a lock for the students so they can't erase it, but as a teacher, I can remove that resource. Now, let's say that there's something that as a teacher you want to add your own application. We have a workflow so teachers can ask for approval for different applications. So what that would look like, and I'm going to switch over to our public portal for just a second. We have all of for this particular district, here's all their curriculum that's been chosen, again, curated by the district on that. And here are different digital resources that teachers have asked for. So what it happens once they ask for a different resource, it goes to the district who can then go and review it. They can say, you know what, is this something that is, has educational value? Is it meeting all of our privacy and security needs? Do we have licensing for that? So there are some things that you can use for criteria to review that particular application. And sometimes that's the case, that you might say the teacher likes this, but you don't have licensing. Or you look at it and it's illegally collecting student data. There's probably some things right now being used in the district that teachers aren't really aware of, all of the different rules that go along with using applications. So there might be some privacy issues that they're just not aware of. So this enables you to actually control that and make sure that you're meeting all of the requirements for those applications. If we look on that, you can actually click on it and you can see, why that has been denied. So you can actually go in and search for all of your approved things. So we can see all of our applications, all of the subjects, all of the different grade levels for that as well. So there are some great ways to curate those applications. Now we are getting to that point where we can actually see that data. So teachers who are a lot of times remotely, they're flying a little bit blindly. They can see when all of their students are logging in. So I'm going to go to the previous week and I can see where all of my students have logged in for this particular course. And that's true for any of my classes. So if I go into my language arts, again, I can see my logins and we'll go from the previous week. And I can even export this week. Now, this export capability is something that has been huge, and really taking attendance for districts that are doing remote learning or blending learning has been a pain point for a lot of them. I know right now we're implementing with Portland Public Schools, where I am located in Portland, Oregon. So they've been having huge issues with taking attendance. So being able to have Classlink where they're accessing all of their different resources, the district actually takes all of this data, aggregates it into one exported report, and then pulls it into their student information system so they actually have an accurate count of attendance. Now, beyond that, teachers can look at the activity. So I can see my actual engagement time for each one of those students. So I can say, you know what, I want to see Hal spent Thursday 5 hours in this particular course. What were they doing? So I can see, oh, Hal was in Skyward here. I want to see what Amir was doing. I can see Amir was in Khan Academy. I can even drill down on these a little bit more if I want to look at the individual applications. So I want to see, with the Renaissance on there was 1 hour and 26 minutes. So you're able to actually see how your students are engaged, that they've logged in, and how they're spending their time while they're logged in. There are some different things that you can see about your students as well. So I can look and let's say I want to change their password. So this is a huge bottleneck for classrooms. So a student reaches out and they just can't get in. So they don't have to go to the district help desk. Teachers can put in a one-time use password, or they can even reset that for them. And here we can see those analytics tools for the teachers as well. So, we're having a little issue. We are switching some things over this week, so I apologize for that. Let's see if we have something for Hal. There we go. Oh, started to load. My apologies on that. But it will definitely work for your district. Well, we're going to stop for a second and see if we have any questions surrounding analytics. We're going to look at this from a district level and an administrative level in just a second here. So do we have any questions surrounding analytics for the teachers and in the classroom?
Hi, Jeremy. It's Leilani. I'm back. Hey, so one question I have is, did you talk about how many publishers you guys are integrated with to pull data?
So yes, so we're working with over 6,000, nearing 7,000 right now. And I apologize, that analytics that wasn't loading just a moment ago. There we go. It has loaded, and this is giving all of the analytics for that teacher. So we can see all of the login statistics, the logins we've had the day, week, month. We can have in our login histories on that. So you're able to look even at your applications that have been used by your students as well.
Yeah, and then I have another question. Do you have a lot of districts when you first start working with them ask you what is the most popular apps everyone else is using? Because you guys track that centrally, right?
Not really. So, what we look at, all of this data that we have here is your data, is the district data. So the actual data that is collected isn't something that we share with anyone else. If we're taking a look at it, that belongs completely to you. So to us, that's really a privacy issue. If we do need to share something, we would definitely ask the district first. But we don't aggregate things on a whole. There are several reasons why. First, it is privacy issues. This is your data. We don't want to be collecting things about your students. You have access to all of that, of course, but that is.
Yeah, Jeremy, I'm just talking about the app's popularity, right? Like, so if I was a new district that was working with you, I'd be like, what does everyone else use? Like what apps are they using, like that are the most popular nationally? Because you kind of want to go with the crowd. And sometimes, a lot of districts want to do that.
Yes,
but I don't know what kind of relationships you have with the publishers, if that's like the big no-no, because it would cut out competition. If you're a math program that's trying to get more customers and Classlink is in the middle saying, well, this is the most popular one, that might be like a little iffy for the publishers.
I think you just caught on it at the second part there. So, we're agnostic about the different publishers and vendors that we work with. The important thing is to us, the only important thing is being able to have that single sign-on. And and again, we don't track aggregate data. We have some capabilities of looking at things, and we give data at the district level, of course. You're going to have that data, but that's not something that we do as far as say, Canvas is our most popular LMS. Or all of our districts are using iReady. That's not something that we wouldn't necessarily share with it. If we wanted to look at one particular district, you saw, X district is doing great. We want to see what resources they're using. We would reach out to X district and say, hey, we have a district who wants to see, what you're using to be successful. And if they wanted to share that data, they would. But otherwise, privacy is incredibly important to us. So that's data that we wouldn't be sharing.
Okay. So thank you for your share, Jeremy.
Certainly. Yep. And so if you have any questions, please reach out and you can contact me at jjackson. At classlink.com, and we'll be following up and send out a follow-up email with my contact information for you as well. So thank you, everybody. We appreciate you taking the time to join us, and have a great afternoon.